Hi there, welcome to the Animals Naturally podcast with me, Suzanne. The aim of this podcast is to give you ideas and tips on how to care for your animal more naturally. Whether you have a cat, dog, other pet, or a larger animal such as a horse, or even keep farm animals, there's a whole world of complementary therapies and holistic approaches that you can use to help your animal have a more naturally healthy lifestyle. I'm founder of Taranet, a leading international natural animal healthcare resource at taranet.co.uk. I also offer business coaching to pet care professionals. In this episode of the podcast, I'm going to give you some ideas to think about in caring for your animal as he or she is getting older. Taking care of a pet or an animal is extremely rewarding for most people who have the luck to have them in their lives. There's even research to show that having a pet and keeping animals can make people happier and healthier. It can even help lower humans' blood pressure. But as our animals get older, we do need to be prepared to keep them as happy and healthy for as long as we possibly can. We owe it to them to help them have as happy and healthy lifestyle as possible, and we can make lots of changes to our lives and their lives to help them have a thriving and happy lifestyle. First of all is to think about your animal's basic health requirements. So for instance, if your vet offers senior or healthy pet or healthy animal clinics and checkups, that may be something you worth considering. It's better to take a preventative approach. Obviously, there's many ways that you can take a preventative approach through having a good, healthy and holistic lifestyle and making sure the basic nutrition is good and that your animal is cared for well and kept safe. But certainly there's some ailments that it can be useful to have a veterinary checkup regularly, once a year for instance, just to see if he or she has any emerging issues that you may not ordinarily see. It's easy for us on a day-to-day basis not to always notice things that perhaps somebody who only sees the animal occasionally, an expert such as a veterinary surgeon, can see quite straight away. You may also like to think about how, as your animal gets older, what you can do to look after yourself. So by that I mean that if your animal does require a different routine, say for instance you may have a dog who doesn't need or can't have long walks once a day or a couple of times a day, but perhaps needs shorter, more regular walks throughout the day into the evening, that actually you need to adjust your lifestyle so you can accommodate that. Likewise, if you have a horse, you may find it much better to ride every day a short amount rather than longer rides on a weekend, for example. So it may be that you do need to adjust your lifestyle and think about how you can make changes to make sure that you're able to keep your animal and yourself happy. So if you need some help to keep your animal healthy and happy, for instance, you may need some help to look after your horse. Say if you keep your horse at a stable yard, a livery yard with other people, can they help bring your horse in or let him or her out, or can your horse stay out longer? So you may need to rely on help other people understand what your animal needs and adjustments to his or her life, so you can then ensure that his or her needs are met. You may find that having a pet sitter could be useful. So if you do find your animal, your dog for instance, can't be left alone for very long, if at all, then actually having somebody to look after your pet or keep an eye on him or her while you're out can be really much more stress relieving for you if you haven't got to worry about rushing around to make sure your dog isn't being stressed through being left alone. It's worthwhile remembering that it's important that you do look after yourself and making sure you do use the services of other people or the kindness of friends or family to help look after your animals so that you're not giving yourself too much stress. If you're not looking after yourself, then it can be hard to care for others. Older pets may have trouble grooming themselves the way that they once did. So because of this, you should give consideration to keeping your pet extra clean in their older years or just basically clean. A high quality dog shampoo can be really helpful to make sure the skin stays healthy, and that there may be moisturising options that you can use as well. I've got other podcast episodes looking at skincare, which you may find useful to look at, and the podcast episode most recent to this, the marshmallow, might be useful to listen to as well, because marshmallow is helpful for skin conditions. But there are many herbs, so do please look through or listen through my previous podcast episodes for some ideas. And likewise, you can visit my website at taranet.co.uk for but you'll find lots of pages on complementary therapies and holistic approaches, including on how to keep healthy skin. And there's lots of herbs that can be used in skincare. My number one favourite is aloe vera, and that features on my website too. So make sure your pet is kept clean, and don't assume because they were always grooming themselves and very clean when they're younger, they can continue to do that when they're older. They may find they need some extra help. Think about the changes you might need to make to your animal's bedding. So, for instance, a horse may previously have quite enjoyed a straw bed, and actually now they're older, a shavings bed provides them a bit more support. So it may be something you need to think about. And likewise, if you have a small pet like a cat or a dog, they may find a different type of bedding better, so they may perhaps used to like curling up, but now actually laying flat out is better for them, and their bed may be better if it's a different shape or size. And also you can get orthopedic versions of fillings that basically provide more support for a small pet bed. So a cat or dog, for instance, they may find something better to support their joints. So there's a few tips there. So first of all, think about having your animal checked on an annual basis by your vet, just to see if he or she, your animal, is as healthy and happy as you hopefully think they are. Hopefully you'll get a clean bill of health. It's best to nip ailments in the bud as soon as possible. Do look after yourself. So do but think about using other people to help your animal, whether that's professional pet sitters or grooms, or whether it's friends or family. Obviously make sure you do trust them and that they're going to understand what your animal needs. So obviously some people have got more of an empathy with animals and have more experience of looking after older animals too. So do think about that. Think about the cleanliness of your animal. So think about whether they actually need a different grooming routine, maybe need more grooming, or need more washing with a shampoo, a pet friendly shampoo. Again, think about your animal as well in terms of what bedding they're on, their comfort. So say they might need a different type of bedding too. As I said, there's lots of other podcast episodes I have here which talk about complementary therapies and herbs that can be used for animal health. So I do please feel free having a listen at other episodes to get some tips and ideas on how to keep your animal more healthy. And there's lots of pages on my website as well on how to care for animals naturally healthy and using a holistic approach. So please do visit my website at taranet.co.uk, and visit the Natural Pet Health blog that I have there too. But if you have any questions or want any help on finding a complementary therapist for your animal, then do please email me at info@taranet.co.uk. Thank you for listening, and until next time, goodbye.